Hey everyone, I'm back. Today we are going to make a biscotti. I thought this would be an awesome treat to have. So yeah, let's get started. Okay, so to start out, I'm going to go through all the ingredients with the quantities on them. So we are going to need 6 tablespoons of butter, 2/3 cup of sugar, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder, 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 2 eggs, and optional but totally would recommend using some type of chocolate, whether that be a white chocolate, a dark chocolate, a milk chocolate. It's great to have. It kind of gives that little extra like zang to your biscotti whenever you have a little bit of chocolate on there. And I'll show you how we're going to do it, but we're just going to dip it in. So per the directions, I'm going to use a baking sheet and line it with parchment paper. I trimmed up the parchment paper with scissors to fit in here, but it seems to work so far. So I'm just going to move that to the side, and then the next step is that we are going to mix all of our ingredients into a bowl. Okay, so I don't actually have a biscotti like cut like shape. What I'm going to do is I made the rectangle, and then after it cooks, I'm just going to cut it in half, and then that's going to be our biscotti. So it's just going to be like a square looking one, which is totally fine. So when I originally read the recipe, I thought that it needed to be like little multiple cutout squares, but really no, it just needs to be 2 cutout squares. So what I did is I put everything back together, re-rolled it out, and so now it looks like this. So it's 2 squares about 10 inches long by 2, 10 by 2. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer it over into this pan. It's going to bake, and then we'll cut it and shape it. But that's what we have for right now. Okay, the timer just went off. We're pulling them out. The next step was we're going to let them cool for 20 to 30 minutes, spritz them with water, cut them into the biscotti like that we know, like the shape and the size that we want, and then we're going to rebake them. Okay, so now that the biscotti is in the oven, we are going to go ahead and melt the chocolate so that way we can dip it in once it comes out of the oven and it can cool with the biscotti. I'm not sure if that's the right way to do it, so if not, please let me know. But that's the way we're going to do it now, and then I'll let you know how it works. But so what I'm going to do to melt the chocolate, I am just using some dark chocolate. Most chocolate chip bags will have some sort of melting directions. If yours doesn't, no worries. It's not that hard. You just heat it up, mix it, heat it up, mix it. Essentially so the chocolate doesn't burn. If you want to make more like a ganache with like chocolate chips and milk, you can do that. But I am just going to dump that in there. And that was about a half a bag that was left. We made cookies out of it, so this is about a half a bag. I'm going to heat it for about 45 seconds, mix, 45 seconds, mix, until it eventually starts to liquefy, and we can go ahead and dip our biscotti in it. I'm really pleased about how they turned out, so I'm gonna give them about like 30 minutes to cool, and then I'm gonna make a cup of tea since it is kind of later this afternoon. And with the cup of tea, I will use the biscotti and dip it in. Traditionally, I would prefer it with coffee. I know you could do it either way, but I like my biscotti with coffee, so I'll probably have some in the morning as well. But I wanted to try them tonight and have with you guys. So the biscotti turned out really, really well. I after dipping it into the chocolate, I put it in the fridge and waited about maybe, I would say, an hour. And I did it 2 ways, and I just want to show you guys. I dipped it in this way. So I dipped it in vertically and got the tip, and then I also dipped it in horizontally and got the bottom half of it. I personally like the way that this one turned out better than I do this one, but both turned out amazing. I think overall this recipe was super, super easy to do, and it looks so good. So we're gonna try it. Okay, so good. 10 out of 10 would recommend this recipe. I think that the quality of it is amazing. It tastes good. I didn't get quite to the chocolate side yet, which I'm sure is delicious, but wow. Yeah, 10 out of 10 recipe. I'm going to go through the steps that I did and then maybe things that I could do better for next time. So when making the biscotti, I think the first thing that I could have done better is that I might have overworked the dough a little bit. It was kind of tough whenever I was working it or shaping it. So I think that's the first thing, is that just really try not to handle the mixture that much. Once it's mixed, leave it mixed. I did do that, the recipe didn't tell me to, that I think was really helpful. I added a coating of flour on the top, and that helped whenever I was shaping it. It really helped be less sticky, because it is a really sticky dough. Second, I read the recipe wrong originally when I went through it, and when I made it, I made like, I think it was like 10 or 15 individual like little squares, probably about like 1 inch long, maybe 5 inches tall. So I did that originally, reread the recipe, and realized that it was supposed to be 2 large 2 by 10 like rectangles. And so then after I did that, again, I had to work the dough again, so I had to combine it together and then divide it into 2 and then separate them out. But so just moving forward, if you guys were to make this recipe, just make sure that you start from the beginning by dividing it into 2 larger rectangles. But overall, I think this recipe was very good. Do recommend. So if you try it, let me know your thoughts. Let me know if I did something that you saw that was wrong. Definitely want to know. But again, let me know your thoughts. I think it was great. But I hope you guys really enjoyed watching this video today. If you did, you can press the like button and subscribe to see all my future content. Thank you so much. Bye.